I've had the bike for, roughly speaking, 8 months, and about a week after I got the bike, I was riding with some really low tire pressure, and I dented the rear rim, and I lose probably 5 to 8 psi every single ride, and I decided it was time to do something about it. Happy Father's Day, everyone. My name is Todd, and as always, I'm an old-ass mountain biker. And for Father's Day this year, my wife and kids got me some Mynesweeper tire inserts, and given this is the first time that I'm going to do anything with my tubeless tire set up, they also got me some muck-off rim tape and some Seal orange tire sealant. And today what we're going to do is take the wheels off of the rims, clean out as much of the old sealant as we can, get these Mynesweeper inserts installed, set them up with the new tubeless sealant, and see how they ride. So why don't you join us for it? Before we get started, let's take a quick look at some of the things we're going to be using. We have our muck-off tubeless rim tape. It is 30 millimeter width tape, which is perfect for the stock rims, the Stan Flow S1 rims that came with the Cascade Peak. And we have some orange Seal endurance sealant. The only reason I picked this particular one, it had good reviews. I wanted to order the muck off, but they only had 8 ounce or 32 ounce. So this looked like the best one with a 16 ounce option. The thought is you put about 4 ounces in each tire, but because we're going to put in the inserts, I want to put 6 ounces. So that's why I went with this size bottle. And then of course the star of the show is the Mynesweepers inserts. I got the 29-inch wheels with 2.5-inch wide tires. I don't know if you can tell, but when I open it up, I also ordered a set of tubeless valves. So what's interesting about these valves, and we'll look at them a little bit closer in a second, is that they allow the air to escape the sides. So even if the insert rotates and blocks the valve, you can still get air in and out pretty easy. So let's go ahead and get these open. So these are the tubeless valve stems that I was talking about. If you look right here, the air actually comes in and out the side as opposed to just the bottom. A couple other things that are kind of cool, right? They have one of the caps replaced with a core, valve core remover, and I'll replace the plastic black with a CNC'd orange aluminum one. That would be a nice touch, right? If you replace this with a cap that matches the color of the valve stem, that would have been a nice touch. But that's okay because I believe that mine will match very well. I'm also a big fan of the guerrilla advertising. So one thing I did notice on a bunch of YouTube reviews about these inserts, they give you stickers for your wheels. I probably will put them on my tires, even though, or my rims, even though obviously I'm not sponsored. I did pay for everything you see with my own money. Well, my wife and kids did anyways. So I've never done any tubeless setup before. We're gonna take the front wheel off and bring it into the front yard and see if we can't get it off the bead and rinse out any of the existing sealant. Again, first time for me doing any of this, so if you've never done either a tubeless setup or your bike came tubeless like mine and you've never had to do anything with it, you'll get to see what it's like doing it for the first time. So let's go ahead and get that wheel off. I don't think that's a good sign. Completely dry. All right, so while I was off camera, I took each of the rims and I cleaned them with isopropyl alcohol just to make sure that we're going to get a good connection, and it is time to start putting my wheels back together and putting the insert in. Oh, in addition to that, I did put the new valve stems on. All right, when you are getting ready to put your tire onto your rim, there's a couple of things you have to think about, and chief among them is lining up your logos. So something to think about when you look at the tire, that's all right. When you look at the tire, one side is going to have the primary logo that tells you what type of tire it is, and the other side only has, you know, the name of the manufacturer. This should go on the drive side. That way you know your tread pattern is in the correct direction. And then I try to line it up, or I try, is really my first time. What I'm going to do is have this line up with the valve stem and the stand's logo on the wheel so that the front and the back match. So I'm going to start putting them on. With the tire halfway onto the rim and everything lined up, it's time to put the insert into the tire. One of the big advantages of the Mynesweeper inserts is supposed to be they are a lot easier than other inserts to install. Obviously, I've never had any other inserts, so I can't tell you whether this is going to be easier or harder than anything else. All right, so it's basically in there. One piece of advice that I saw online after I ordered these is to get a little bit of a smaller size. So I have 2.5 tires, and I have the inserts for 2.5 to 2.7. I think that's gonna be fine, but something when you're ready to order yours, if you do decide you are, you should definitely think about. So with the insert in the tire, we're going to try and get the tire onto the bead. If you can, as you're pushing the tire on, make sure you push it really into the center of the tire, and that should offer you the slack you need to get the last piece onto the rim. All right, looking good so far. I'm going to remove the valve core. I happen to have a compressor that I can use to seat the tire in the bed. If you don't, obviously you can use one of those chargers or pump like crazy using a regular floor pump. All right, cross our fingers. Just like that. All right, it is the next day, Sunday afternoon, Father's Day to be exact. I'm going to try and get the rest of the filming done and edited and published tonight, so all of you get to enjoy it on Father's Day. And let me tell you why I had to wait to finish. So off camera, I did my rear wheel. And I mentioned that one of the things, I really dented my rim pretty significantly. And it was difficult to get the tire to seat. And I did, a dry run. I put the core back in, inflated it to 30 psi, and it's still pretty much hard as a rock the next day. So I know it is seated correctly, it's holding air, but I didn't want to break that seal to pour in sealant and then have to take the chance. So what I did was I ordered a sealant injector. It was $10 on Amazon. It's basically a giant syringe with a small enough little tube that fits inside a stem. So we're going to go ahead and put 150 milliliters of this stuff in there. It calls for 118 milliliters, but I'm going to go ahead and top it off to 150 on account of there's going to be a lot of that stuff that gets caught up inside the insert itself. So let me go ahead and take this down and start filling it with sealant and get it pumped up and see what happens before we do the back tire. So I have 50 milliliters of sealant. Let's go ahead and see what happens. All right, I need to do that 2 more times. One trick that seems to work when putting in the sealant with the inserts is if you push down a little bit on the tire, and as you let up with the tire, you squirt the sealant in, it seems to pull it in a little bit more. And you get up by the seam. All right, we'll give this last tire a really good shake. Make sure we get the inside really well coated. There we go. We're gonna let them both sit overnight, and then we'll put them on the bike probably tomorrow after I clean the wheels again with some isopropyl alcohol, get any of that residual sealant off. We'll save that for another video. So I hope you realized it was pretty straightforward and easy to install these Mynesweeper inserts. Hopefully the weather here in Phoenix will drop below 115 and I'll actually get to go for a ride sometime soon, and I'll take you guys along with me when I do. If you enjoy the content, remember, please hit that like and consider subscribing. Thanks, everybody.